What's up everyone? So today I'm down at Steve White Volkswagen and behind me is a 2019 Volkswagen Tiguan. Huge thanks to them for providing this SUV for me today. I'll have a link to their website down in the description below. The model that we're looking at today is the SEL Premium. It's finished off in white silver metallic and has an MSRP just over $38,000. Under the hood is a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. This is only paired to the 8-speed Tiptronic automatic transmission. This engine produces 184 horsepower at 4,400 RPM and 221 pound-feet of torque at 1,600 RPM. This features the 4-motion all-wheel drive system, weighs around 3,800 pounds, 0 to 60 is just over 8 seconds, and with a fuel capacity of 15.9 gallons, you can expect the MPG to be 21 in the city and 29 on the highway. The wheelbase measures 109.8 inches. It has an overall length of 185.1. The width is 72.4. It has a height of 66.3 inches, and ground clearance is at 7.5 inches. Starting up front with the wide and narrow grille, it's finished off in chrome. This features LED headlights with a nice intricate turn signal pattern running just beneath them. In the lower section of the bumper, there's a nice trim piece separating the mesh. It features a forward-facing camera with 4 parking sensors. This also has fog lights on either side in the lower section. And there's very clean lines coming down the hood. Moving to the side, this features 19-inch silver alloy wheels with a nice 5-spoke design. This also features 4-wheel disc brakes in all 4 corners. The body-colored side mirrors are power folding and feature the integrated turn signal. There's a nice black strip running along the side skirts with a chrome trim piece above that. Very clean lines run down the length of the door right at the door handle, and this offers the longest wheelbase of any crossover SUV. And finishing up with the integrated spoiler and third brake light, visibility is improved by placing the wiper blade in the lower section of the window. This comes standard with LED taillights, a backup camera with 4 parking sensors. There's more chrome trim separating the lower section of the bumper. This has dual exhaust and a towing capacity up to 1,500 pounds. Alright, so that finishes up the exterior walk around of the 2019 Tiguan. What do you guys think of it? This is a little bit smaller than the Atlas. That's something that I got to check out last year actually, so I'll have a link to that video down in the description below. This is basically the top of the line version. There is an R-Line package that you can get. That just gives it some more trim pieces and the wheels are different as well. But now with the key, we'll go ahead and take a look at the interior. We have lock, unlock, the power tailgate, and then if we double tap on this button, the vehicle will automatically start up. And then of course, just double tapping on it again will shut it off. And then with the vehicle locked and the key in my pocket, I'll just walk up. It'll automatically unlock. The door panel is finished off in 2-tone leather. We have black on the armrest with white and white stitching above that. There's a nice trim piece behind the aluminum release handle with your lock and unlock. This features an 8-speaker Fender audio sound system. There's also a speaker down in the lower section with the tailgate release and a little bit of storage space behind that. All of the windows are automatic up and down with the power adjustment for the side mirrors. Moving inside now to the heated leather seats, they feature more white stitching. There's black piping running along each bolster. They are pretty aggressive as well. This has the seat memory adjustments to the side, along with 10-way power adjustability and 2-way lumbar power adjustability. Once inside, we're greeted with a fully wrapped black leather steering wheel. It features more black stitching running on the inside and piano black trim pieces on the bottom. All of the buttons on the right control Bluetooth, along with all of the settings for the center screen, which we'll get to here in a second. All of the buttons on the left side are for cruise control, so you have adaptive cruise and being able to do your distance pacing for vehicles in front of you. So this also features Audi's 12.3-inch virtual cockpit. With the electronics on now, I'm going to use those buttons on the right side of the steering wheel. We can look at audio, your phone. You have vehicle status information, along with normal daily driving data, like your average speed, your distance, time travel and range, things like that. We can go over to assistance systems, so you can look at your lane assist, blind spot monitoring, rear traffic alert, and front assist. All of these can be turned on and off. And then we can also go over to navigation. To the far left, you have your tach and engine temperature. On the right side is your speedometer and fuel gauge. Of course, you have your trip and odometer to the bottom. There's also more aluminum trim pieces surrounding the gauge setup. To the left of the steering wheel, there's a little cubby storage space for anything that you want to put there, along with the headlight control. There's one air vent. And then moving to the center, there's a little storage space up top. And now we're going to take a look at the 8-inch touchscreen navigation screen. So it's very easy to use this center screen. I am on the menu button right now, so you see radio, media. We can go into navigation and pull that up full screen. You have your telephone, your vehicle information, so tire pressure and any other status. You can also go into selection here. You can go to off-road, and you can see your tilt meter and power to each wheel, which is really cool to see. You can go into energy consumption and view all of those details, along with normal daily driving data. You can see how long you've been driving, extended periods, time since you've last refueled, and things like that. So going back to menu, you have App Connect. You can have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto to be able to work those. You also have all your climate control settings that you can go into. You can sync them. You have your heated steering wheel option. There's more settings to the far left, so you have automatic air recirc, your temperature and everything like that. Going back into settings now, there's everything that you can configure, so you have all the different settings, of course. We can also pull up navigation to the far right. You have the apps again. These are all shortcuts to get into these different settings. That way you don't have to go into this screen itself. So you have tuning on the far right, your power and volume for the radio, along with phone and a voice recognition system. Below that screen, you have all of your dual zone climate control settings. So there's a digital readout to the left and right side, so you can control those individually. As you saw up top, you can sync them also. You have your heated steering wheel and driver seat, along with more AC controls in the middle, and then of course the passenger seat to the far left. More AC controls, along with being able to turn up the fan speed in the center, and then your individual settings to the left and right. In front of the shifter, there's a good sized compartment with a 12 volt, 2 USB ports as well. You have the engine start stop button right in the middle, along with an electronic parking brake. Putting the car into reverse now, you'll see the backup camera light up. With the vehicle in park, if you push on the parking sensor button, this will bring down a top view. So you can see I'm just against this curb right here. That's why these are going off. But that's very nice to see. You can see a 360-degree view all around. Behind that is the 4 different driving modes that this vehicle has. You have off-road custom, off-road, a normal sport mode, and then also snow as well. So by turning on this dial, you'll see in the center here, we have snow. Then there's sport again, so you can go between normal, eco, and sport. We can go over to an off-road and then an off-road custom. Behind that, there's 2 cup holders with a little bit of storage space. The center armrest is wrapped in leather, has a good amount of room down in there. Moving over to the glove box, definitely has a lot of space, along with a CD player above that. More trim piece running along the dash. We'll take another look at these leather seats. And then this does feature a panoramic sunroof. And of course, all of those controls are up in the middle, so you can adjust the sunshade along with tilting the front sunroof and all of the dome light switches. And now it's time to take a look at the rear seating. And of course, the door panel is finished off like up front with more black leather and white above that. You have some storage space down below. Of course, your aluminum release handle looks very nice. This is a 5-seater SUV, so let's go ahead and hop in. Behind both front seats, there's a little bit of storage space. You have 2 air vents and a little cubby, along with a 12 volt and a USB. As far as legroom goes, I definitely have plenty of it at 5'10". I have no issues with my feet. I have a little bit of room above my head, but it's not too crammed or anything like that. And I really like the fact that you have this full panoramic roof going to the back seats. In the center armrest, you have 2 cup holders. And then we'll take a look out of the rear glass. On each side of the seats as well, there's a little cubby storage space for anything that you can fit there. These seats also have a 40-20-40 split to them, so you can do the center seat by itself, but just pulling on this latch here, it's going to do these 2 together, so we're at the 60-40 split. That way you can see just how much room you have to the back seats. These seats also move forward as well, so if you need a little bit more room behind them, you have the option to do that. Now it's time to take a look at the rear storage space, and I'm just going to hold on the button on the key fob. And with those seats up, you have about 38 cubic feet of storage space. It goes to 73 cubic feet with those seats folded flat, so there's definitely a lot of room in here for anything that you need. You have a good sized storage pocket to the left side here. If you pull on these handles here, it will actually fold those seats down. So I'm going to do the passenger side here. That way, if you have anything, you don't have to walk around to do that. You have a little bit more storage space to the right side. And then by pulling up on the cargo mat here, you have the spare tire with actually a lot more room. So anything that you need to put back here, along with the removable tonneau cover that's stored underneath there, which is a nice spot for it if you don't need to use it. And of course, we can also close up the tailgate just by pushing on that button. So there's definitely a lot of room for this 5-seater SUV. All right, so getting the Tiguan out on the road now. It's been quite a while since I've driven the Atlas, but so far everything seems to be the same as that, of course. But the first thing that I'll go over is the visibility. So with it being smaller, it's actually still really easy to see all around. There's virtually no blind spots. You have a little bit of a window in front of the side mirror, so that just gives you a little bit more to see in front of that A-pillar. And then looking over your left and right shoulder, there's just as much space. There's hardly any blind spots in this. And then I've been messing with that backup camera button just a little bit. At slower speeds in the parking lot, it will pull up the top-down view. So that way you have a lot more visibility again to see all around. So you have that front camera working with the back one. So that really eliminates pretty much any blind spot that you would have. You can see curbs clearly. Moving on to the comfort, putting a couple miles on this so far, it's been a really smooth ride so far. There's nothing to adjust with the suspension. It's just those different driving modes that you saw for inclement weather or taking this on gravel roads or something like that. But the overall ride has been very smooth. The road that I'm on right now, I drive a lot for these review videos. So it's not a smooth road, but it's not really bumpy at the same time. But it's taking everything well. It's absorbing any of the bumps on the road very smoothly. I really like the seating positioning too. The steering wheel is nice and comfortable. There's little notches on it too to give you really good grip. Moving on to brakes now. They do a good job coming around the sharp right turn. Not too much body roll. You know, I'm not going crazy fast, but you have plenty of power to get back up to the speed limit. I'm gonna put it over into manual mode now and use the shifter here. Just give it a little bit of gas. It's not super quick, but you're up to the speed just like that. So for a 2-liter 4-cylinder, you know, it has plenty of power. It doesn't weigh a crazy amount either, so you're easily able to shift through those gears, and even in the normal setting, it'll get up to speed just like that. So moving on to all of the interior materials, I really like everything that's on the inside. You have leather everywhere. You have the heated leather steering wheel as well, and hopefully you guys saw a clip showing that the outside temperature today is 38 degrees. So the heated steering wheel is definitely a good option for today, but everything on the inside has a really nice touch to it. I like all the trim on the doors. You have white leather and the black leather there, gives it a really good contrast. And then you have a very clean looking center gauge setup. With it off, it just gives it an elegant look with all the black kind of disguising it a little bit with the few buttons that you have to the left and the right. And then of course below that you have all of your climate control buttons, which is really nice to see. They're all laid out well, and there's really not too many. Even though there's 3 dials there, they have a lot of integration into them as a dial/button in the center of them, so it really doesn't take up all that much room. Okay, so I'm gonna put the car over into eco mode right now and kind of do a small acceleration to see if it changed. I did it in sport mode the first time. Eco mode definitely changes it. I'm about half throttle right now, and I just got up to the speed limit. So let's try that again back to back with sport mode here. Oh yeah, there's a huge difference. About half throttle and I'm already up to the speed limit. So putting it into eco mode, of course, is gonna help save on your MPG and not give you as much throttle response. So it's nice to see that those functions actually have a difference. And I've driven some cars that I don't feel any difference, so it's nice to see that. So overall, driving the Tiguan, I think it's a really cool SUV. Of course, the Atlas has the full-size third row, so that gives you just a little bit more room. But being that this has the longest wheelbase of these smaller crossover SUVs like this, you have a lot of room behind the second row there, and even being able to move these seats forward and fold them flat just gives you a lot of versatility. So that is my walk around review and test drive of the 2019 Volkswagen Tiguan. Comment down below, let me know what you guys think of the smaller SUV from Volkswagen. It definitely has a lot of storage space on the inside, a lot of technology features, and it drives well. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next video.